From time to time, people will ask me, well, what is faith? Or they'll ask about the things that we do to show that we are living out our faith in different ways as families and as parish community. I tell people, have faith, live your faith out, everything will work out well. Place your trust in God, the God who will make things happen. Let me give you an example of something like that. Back in February, Catholic Charities held a food drop in our area. I heard word from a contact of mine at Catholic Charities in Albany that there would be a food drop during President's Week at one of our local schools. It was going to be at Ravenna Queensland Selkirk. Catholic Charities offers food to families and individuals. They get volunteers together and they distribute food to families in need, people who just come, no questions asked. Well, this took place during President's Week at the RCS parking lot. I found out about this on Wednesday. We sent out emails to our faith formation families, especially to our confirmation candidates and their families. We got word out to parishioners at Mass that weekend, like we do now with our announcements. I agreed with folks' comments, that is, they wished they had more lead time. They had plans. It was coming up too quickly. But I said, let's place our trust in God to make the God who makes things happen. That Tuesday, February Tuesday, about 24 adults, students, and middle school, high school, and confirmation candidates came out on a cold morning to give food to people who drove up in about 150 cars in the RCS parking lot. People of all ages came from our parishes to help. Talk about planting seeds of faith in action. The people from St. Patrick's and St. Mary's really came out. And as one of our high school students serenaded, "'Cause every little thing's gonna be all right." Now that might not be the most theological answer that I can give you, but faith is that sense, that force, that belief that makes all things possible, makes all sorts of things happen. And we see in the experience of the Gospels, when faith is present, Jesus performs miracles. Faith makes miracles possible. All it takes is a faith, even a little faith, like we have in today's Gospel, faith the size of a mustard seed to make things happen. Now, mustard seeds, that might sound like a little bit of a strange idea, a foreign idea to us. I mean, how many of you have mustard shrubs or mustard trees in your backyard in Coxsackie or in Ravenna? Hey, not me either. But mustard seeds, they're small. How small? Ever pick up a jar of pickles at the supermarket? Ever see those little yellow seeds that kind of are at the bottom of the jar? Yeah. Mustard seeds are about that color, and they're about that size. They are small. But large shrubs, almost tree-sized shrubs, grow from those mustard seeds. And as we heard in the Gospel, those mustard seeds says, if you had the faith of a mustard seed, then I could tell you to go and uproot the mulberry trees, and it would. Even faith the size of a mustard seed is enough for us to learn to believe, to trust, and to know that it is God who works quietly in us and through us to make all things possible. Think of that message from today's Gospel about caring for the servants. Should I be served first, or should I sit down and serve the others a meal first? Think about the story last week we heard about Lazarus and the rich man from last week's Gospel. I mean, what would it take for you to be attentive to the needs of the poor, or to the servants, or to those who are around us, our neighbors? Even a small amount of attention, a small amount of care for others can make a great difference. Remember that story about mustard seeds? So small, yet they uproot trees. To get a powerful image of that, just remember the stories from the news this week about Hurricane Ian and all the trees you saw uprooted in the news in Florida. What would it take for you to respond to your neighbor? Even small steps are a start. Small seeds lead to large trees. Many seeds, many trees, a forest. Your participation matters. So often in the world we think, I can't do anything. But together we can do great things. Your participation matters. What can you and I do for the Lord and for one another? Remember that example of the Catholic Charities food drop up at Ravenna's Queensland Selkirk School? Remember the story about how our parishioners got involved? Let me give you another example. Let me talk to you about the diocesan appeal. Folks, it's that time of the year. We talk about the appeal. And for all that is done in our diocese and through our diocese, all in the name of Jesus for our neighbor, you might wonder, well, how can I take part? People need so much. What could I do? Hey folks, small seeds lead to large trees. Large trees lead to forests. When we work together, we can accomplish great things. The Diocesan Appeal helps Catholic charities, helps schools, helps the poor, helps with housing, so many things. For those of you who received your mailing from the diocese in the last week, they listed some of the things that the Diocesan Appeal is used for. And you know, on a very personal level, at St. Patrick's and at St. Mary's, we have a special connection with our seminarians. We've hosted several seminarians who've gone on to ordination in the last few years, last few summers. We have come to the point where, in our parish, we have had them among us, we've helped to shape and form them, and they in turn have been a witness to us about faith. We have dedicated our diocesan appeal to the care of our seminarians. They say the cost of a seminarian is about $45,000 a year. And our diocesan appeal goal in our parishes is just an eyelash under $40,000 for St. Patrick's and just about $44,000 for St. Mary's. Basically, it covers the cost of a seminarian. We can do two. And you know, folks, our assessment there is actually down $2,000 a year for each parish. Now, as a reminder, we have envelopes in the back if you didn't receive a mailing from the diocese. Folks, take that envelope home or look at your mailer. Have that family conversation. Think about what we can do to support our seminarians, to support our neighbors, to support all the good work that's done in our diocese in the name of Jesus. Folks, your participation matters. Your gift is important. Your gift, your pledge. Think about that when you sit down with your family and discuss how we can serve our neighbor. Indeed, folks, it's one more sign about what faith in action can do. Thank you so much for your consideration. Blessings to you and your family, and thank you for all that you do on behalf of our parish community and our neighbors.